Right, so before we start, a bit of a disclaimer. This is all my opinion, so there's nothing right or wrong. It's all opinionated from my point of view. It's a guide to help people who are unfamiliar with the ADC role. If this isn't you, and then this video is probably not for you, but you may still enjoy it, feel free to leave your suggestions or additions below for people to also view. It's nice to help each other out. It's always good to expand. Anyway, enjoy the video. Right, so I'm going to be cutting this video into 3 segments. Segment 1 is going to be the current ADCs that are top tier. Segment 2 is going to be strategies, farm, where to go, what to do, start to finish. Segment 3 is going to be builds. Segment 1. So, in Smite's current state, that's season 8.4, there are a few hunters that stand out from the rest. This could be because their current meta that I've seen and experienced is high attack speed, lifesteal, crit. These builds sometimes get swapped by 1 or 2 items, but it's usually the player's preference. The strongest hunters at the moment are gods such as Apollo, Anher, and Danzaburo. In ranks, they are banned very often. These gods are top tier with the way things are at the moment, so if you're looking for a strong ADC, then these 3 gods are probably your best bet. Apollo is strong because of his early game passive. If you can get hit level 2, use your mez against a poor hunter with Apollo passive, that might as well be a free kill. Anher is strong because of his CC and the cooldown on his ult, starting off with 75 seconds, unlike normal hunter cooldowns, which is usually 90 seconds. He also has a strong passive early game, reducing the physical protection of an enemy by 20 when hit with the basic. Hunters usually start off with about 30 to 50 physical protection, so reducing this by 20 can give Anher the edge when it comes to boxing 1v1 in an early game. Danzaburo is just on another level of CC, a hunter with a 1-second taunt. He's got haste, basic attack reduction, he's got an intoxicate, a stun. It makes him a very viable hunter for one-on-one boxing, especially with a 20% reduced basic attack damage while he's in his 3. You also got your semi-strong hunters that are strong in their own aspect, something to usually do with their kit. You've got Izanami, she's got one of the best early clears in the game. AMC, due to his hives and his recent honey slow buff. You've got Kanonos, because of his buff to his 1. You got Chiron, recent buff to his passive healing, and Bluestone buff makes him very viable. These gods at set 1 are all based around very similar builds. Gods that you probably want to avoid in the ADC role are probably gods like Hachiman, Olorun, Jingwei, Skadi. These gods just don't match up well against the current meta and the already mentioned hunters. If you have a decent Anher against a decent Olorun, 9 times out of 10 the Anher will be winning the lane. Right, segment 2. Straight away at the start of the match, you obviously want to buy your things, then you want to head to the red buff to share the XP with the mid laner. That's here on the map. It does not matter which one of you tanks the damage, as you're both equally squishy. After this, you want to go to the purple buff, where hopefully your support will have almost cleared the camp. Fingers crossed they got Hand of the Gods. If they have not got very good early clear, we're looking at you, Bacchus. After you pick up the buff, you're going to rush as quick as you can to wave. Try not to miss any minions if you can help it. Whoever gets to level 2 first will have the edge on the first fight. If you end up clearing the minions first, then quickly move on to the Harpy and kill it before the enemy team have cleared wave. This will give you a bigger bonus towards your boxing potential. Now you just want to keep clearing the wave until your Scorpion spawns. Then go defeat the Scorpion only when there are no minions in the lane. This is to help prevent you from losing any XP. After this Scorpion is when you want to start engaging, trying to outbox the other duo. You want to make sure to keep an eye on the purple buff. As soon as that spawns in and there are no minions in your lane, get over there and defeat it. You want as much XP as possible. Same with the Harpy and same with the Scorpion. Keep on top of them, keep timers. After a couple more waves, you'll probably hit level 5. This is your power spike, and this is when you have full potential, especially if they are level 4 with no ult. Once you have the edge over another ADC, it's best to keep on top of it. You really want to be careful of that jungle. If you get ahead of the other ADC, that jungle's going to be looking at you. Now you're ahead, you want to keep the pressure up. You want to keep defeating that buff, keep the purple on, keep doing the Scorpion, attempt to do the enemy Scorpion as you've got more pressure and you've got full control over the Harpy. So keep on top of that. If you're feeling a bit risky, you can try and go for their purple, just make sure you have wards. If you ever see the enemy ADC rotate and you know fine well you can't get there in time, attack that right tower and take it down. Therefore, if the ADC does rotate well and kill someone, at least you've taken a tower and your team gets a bit of gold instead of nothing. Another idea could also be to get the Scorpion or late game Gold Fury if you're feeling up for it, but Scorpion might be a shout if you don't think you can do the tower. Mid game to late game is pretty easy for an ADC, just be careful of the jungle and the mid ganking. The support will probably come over every now and then. Mid will least gank out of all of them, unless they're very aggressive and don't like you, but there you go, it happens. In the late game, you want to try and stick over and farm your lane just till you hit about level 16, 17. Then you probably want to look about joining team fights. Unless you're under leveled, just let your team know so you can level up before you go into team fights. Do not go into a team fight when you're too under leveled as an ADC. Your job late game is to shoot and kill anything that moves. If anyone comes towards you, or if your tank sets you up for a nice kill, make sure to get in there and just pile down on everything. Use everything you've got. Your main job as well in the late game is destroying phoenixes. The hunter is the main guy for destroying any phoenix or tower when it becomes about 20 minutes or later. Segment 3. So, we want to start off our build with either a death toll, a leather cowl, or an ornate arrow. We want this early sustain and lifesteal to keep farming and boxing. This can make all the difference early on. The ornate arrow is for a powerful crit build that we'll talk about in a second. Now we have two choices. We have the first build, we can either use a stacking item such as Devourer's Gauntlet, and a second build which is usually a power item. If you end up choosing the first build, which is the stacking item, I'd advise rushing the first stacking item before you actually buy boots. After this, you want to go into a bit of Ninja Tabai. So you want to be getting Trans or Devos, as I said before, and then get Ninja. Never go Warrior Tabai on anyone at the moment because it's just not good. In the stacking build, we're probably going to go into crit. After boots, it's a good idea to get an item such as Assai or Kinsey's if they're going quite healthy. Once this has been bought, we need to start our Rage and begin stacking on that. We need the maximum of 5 to get it fully stacked. After Rage, next crit item would probably be a Wind Demon, extra attack speed and pen, since this build doesn't have much pen. The second build we're going to move on to now. We are going into an attack speed pen build. You'll probably want to rush Ninja Tabai straight off the bat. After you've rushed Ninja, you're probably going to go into your power item. This could either be an Ishabel or a Berserker's Shield, as already mentioned. After this item, we need some lifesteal, so Assai should be the item to go next. Moving on, attack speed items, we need to get Odysseus' bow, then into a silver branch. Them two complement each other. It'll give you a pretty big power spike with the silver branch and oboe. With this build, you probably want to go into a leather cowl and then upgrade it because you'll get an extra 65% attack speed. Gods such as Apollo, Izanami, and Artemis will benefit from build number 2 as they all have an attack speed increase. It'll make Silver Branch give you much more power and make it quite strong. Gods like Heimdall, Danzaburo and Anher would benefit from build number 1 as they have some sort of CC that lets them hit off them crits. There you have it, people, a rough guide on how to ADC. I really hope you enjoyed. It's taken me a fair time to compile this and edit all this. So leave a like if you have enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. Ta-ra!